Today we're going to go through the basic instruction of using ThinkGIS for your everyday needs. As we go through the map, we will be referencing the Quick Start Guide, which all of you should have. First, I'd like to point out that at the back of the Quick Start Guide, at the very top, there is a phone number, 888-225-5984. That phone number reaches our customer service line and is available for you during regular business hours, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So to start, we have an overview of our map. This top row of tools is what we'll go through first. I'll show you how to use each one and then some shortcuts also for using each one. The Help menu may be accessed by clicking on the Help drop-down and choosing Help, or simply by clicking F1, that's function key 1, on the keyboard. Once opened, the Help menu is completely interactive. The left-hand side is an index of all available tools in the Help menu. Searching may also be done for specific items in the Help menu that you might be looking for. Tools displayed in the main window of the Help menu may be clicked on to find out more information about them and how they work. Once finished, simply click the X to close out of the Help menu. To find an address using the Find Address tool, I can click on the Find Address tool in the Tools menu, or I can hit F3, that's the function 3 key, on my keyboard. This opens the Find Address window. First, I put in the value for the house number. Tabbing across, I can put in, if available, a directional. Tabbing again, a street name. And then finally, a community. As I begin to type in a community name, it will automatically pre-fill with any existing community values. I simply click Enter on the keyboard or Find on the Find Address window, and the address will be located on the center of my screen. On the left-hand side of the information window, I will see what was searched for, what was found, a latitude and longitude for that location, and the feature information as it is listed in the layer. The layer name appears at the top of this feature information. Whenever a search is executed or an item in the map is clicked on to identify it, a highlight will appear on that item or that searched item. To remove that highlight, I simply hit the Clear button at the top of the information window. Or I can do the keystroke of Alt and R, that's R as in Roger, on the keyboard to clear the highlight on the window. Clicking Clear, the map is redrawn. The highlight is gone from the center of my screen or wherever it was highlighted on my map window, and any feature information in the information window is gone. The search bar at the far end of the Tools bar can be used to also look up addresses. I simply type in the address number just as I would do in the Find Address tool. However, as I begin typing it in, search suggestions will drop down below my window. The more that I put in, the more narrowed down my search will become. Once I see the value I wish to query, I click on it. My map will zoom to that location, again highlighting the address and on the left-hand side showing me the feature information as well as the layer from which it comes. I can also use the search window to query things like intersection lookups. To do an intersection lookup, I type in the intersection name. Once I type in the first street name, I use the /, that's the key that shares the question mark on your keyboard, and then the second street name. Once the values are in, hitting Enter will locate that location on the map. An X indicates the location of that intersection. In the information window, I'll see what it was searching for, what it found, and a latitude and longitude for that location. When inputting information like address searches into the search bar, it is important to be as specific as possible. If I put in a value that does not carry a community name for an address, hitting Enter, it will show me all possible locations of that address. On the left-hand side, I can see what it found. As I mouse over the top of each one, you will see it highlight on the map with the location of that address. Selecting one will zoom me into that location. If that is not the value I wanted, I can click the back arrow in my information window and it will show me all of them again. On the information window, you'll see some parenthetical values behind each address. A P means that it is a point address. That means it exists in the address layer and has been verified by some source. An R means that that address was approximated off of a centerline range value. An A means that this address was approximated off of other existing address point values. Performing any search in the search bar causes ThinkGIS to search every layer on the map. If there is something that I'm looking for that might exist in a specific layer, perhaps the search bar is not the best place to look. Instead, I can go to the index. I can open the index by clicking on it on the toolbar or hitting F4, that's function key 4, on my keyboard. Clicking on it, I see that it contains every layer that is in the map. If layers have been categorized, to open the category, I simply click on the plus sign to the left of the categoried layers. Underneath, I can see all layers within that category. Clicking on a layer causes all feature information for that layer to display on the right-hand side of the window. Typing in a name, it will automatically drop down to the value I am typing in. If I would like to see that on the map, I simply hit Locate, and it will display anywhere that feature is located as an entity on the map. These white highlights indicate where that feature is. Clicking on the index again, I can go in and search specific values within a layer. In this case, I'm going to look at the parcels layer. I want to know all of the parcels owned by someone named Smith. I simply go to the owner name field and type in the owner name of Smith. Clicking Search, it gives me 130 results for all parcels owned by someone named Smith. If I'd like to see where they are on the map, I can hit Locate All, and it will highlight for me the location of all of those. As they are located in gray, I will mouse over the top, and again in white it will highlight on the map where that parcel is located. If I click on Index again, it will return with the same search results. This way I do not have to go through the search criteria again. If I need to get this data to someone without a GIS system, I can choose Print List. Here I have the option of printing to a text file, an Excel spreadsheet, or an Access database. In this case, I'll use an Excel spreadsheet. Saying OK, it asks if I want to get statistics calculated for each feature. This is not necessary, but I will say yes in this example to show you what it does. It will name the spreadsheet based on the parcel layer name, and I can direct it to wherever I like. For now, I'll leave it in the ThinkGIS Reports folder. Clicking Open, it will open an Excel spreadsheet with the same data as it shows in the parcel layer. Going to the right, because I asked for statistics to be calculated, each parcel record gives me a latitude and longitude based on a centroid for each of those parcels. I get a total perimeter in feet and a total area in acres. I can now print this out to a hard copy or attach it to an email. Something to note, when a layer is not turned on in the map, I can still search for it in the index. Currently, I know that my electric utilities are not turned on. But if I'd like to search for something in my electric utilities, I can still find them using the index. I simply go to that layer in the index and execute a search, or I could locate all from this point. Locating all, it will highlight all of the pools on my electric utility pools layer. I can see them out here in gray. Zooming in closer, I can see them in more detail. If I clear my search, I'll see that the pools are not turned on, but they were still able to be located with that index search. The next set of tools on the toolbar are for navigating within the map. First, we have Zoom In. To zoom in, I simply click on the Zoom In button and then move my mouse over the map. The zoom in window can be changed in size by using the scroll wheel on the mouse. Scrolling forward will make the zoom in window smaller. Scrolling back will make it larger. Lacking a scroll wheel, page up and page down on the keyboard perform the same function. Page up will make it larger, and page down will make that window smaller. Once I have the size that I want, left-clicking will zoom me to that extent. I may also zoom in with no tool activated, simply by left-clicking and holding my mouse button down and then dragging a window to the zoom extent. When I release the button, I will zoom in to that location. To zoom out, I click on the Zoom Out button. The map will incrementally move out with each press of the button. Clicking the Max View button will take me back to whatever the map looks like each time I open ThinkGIS for the first time. The Previous View button remembers the last 10 places I have been on the map. Clicking it, it will take me back to those as I have visited them before. Panning the map can be executed a few different ways. To pan, I can click on the Pan button and move down into the map. There is a window sized to my map screen and a little hand for the cursor. Wherever I place that little hand and left click, that will become the new center of my screen. I may also pan with no tool activated simply by right-clicking the mouse button, holding it, and moving the mouse to drag the window. Panning may also be accomplished on the keyboard. On a regular desktop keyboard, the number pad at the right-hand side contains arrow keys. They are on the 2, 4, 6, and 8 keys. Clicking on those will pan the map. 2 is south, 8 is north, 4 is west, and 6 is east. Lacking a number pad, I may also use the A, D, W, and Z keys on a keyboard. Z is south, W is north, A is west, and D is east. The Identify Area tool may be used to find out information about any point on the map. Once clicked, the cursor changes to show a question mark surrounded by a box next to it. Any point I click on the map will then display on the left-hand side all boundaries surrounding that point. This tool is a great way to find out where you are on the map without having to go into the layer settings and turn layers on and off or zoom out and lose the location. Just as any query on the map, a highlight will remain until cleared using the Clear button at the top of the information window. To identify a feature on the map, with no tool activated, all I do is simply click on any feature on the map. It will highlight and then show feature information on the left-hand side. Single clicking will continue to pull up information about those features and continue to highlight them on the map. Once I've gotten what I need, clearing will clear the highlight on the map and the information window. ThinkGIS offers the opportunity to identify coordinates for a particular location on the map. If I zoom into an area and need to know coordinates for a specific spot on the map, I can click on this button with the helicopter on it, move down into the map, and choose any point, left-clicking. Displayed in the information window are the coordinates for that location. They are displayed in degrees, minutes, seconds, degrees, minutes, and decimal degrees. Other coordinate systems are also included. If I need to get these out to a text file, I can go to View as Text under the options. Here I am able to select, copy, and then paste into a text file or other item like an email. Highlights from identified areas will stay on the map just as any other lookup until cleared with the information window or hitting Alt-R on the keyboard. To change the overall look of my map, I'm going to use the Layer Settings button. Clicking on it, it opens the Layer Settings window where I can see a list of all my layers. Categorized layers will appear with pluses next to them. Clicking on a plus will open that layer category, revealing the layers within it. The first few settings within the layer settings are on, off, and auto. On means that you can see a layer. Off means that you cannot. Auto means that the layer will turn on at a certain level. In the case of aerials, these are set to turn on at 1 mile. What this means is that when I'm zoomed out to a full max view, I do not see the aerials. But as I zoom in closer and get within 1 mile, and that's measured north to south on the map, the aerials will turn on. I also have the option in the auto section to choose a minimum level. In this case, I'll use the ESN boundary layers. When I set those to auto, I have them coming on at 20 miles and turning off at 3 miles, this minimum range. So as I zoom in, the ESNs turn on and I can see the boundaries. But as I get in closer to that 3 mile or less range, and that's again measured north to south, they turn off. Aerial photos may also be turned on, even though the layer is turned off, simply by hitting the B as in boy key on the keyboard. This only turns on the aerial photos temporarily. As soon as the map is panned, zoomed in, or zoomed out, the photos will turn back off. The same can be done with the number keys across the top of the board. Numbers 1 through 0 on the keyboard will turn on the first 10 layers temporarily on the map, each according to where they're listed in the layer settings. 1 would relate to the aerial settings, 2 in this case would relate to regional roads, 3 to regional highways, 4 to regional counties, and so on. The layer order is important when talking about things like aerial photography. The layers draw in the order that they're listed in the layer settings. In this case, the aerials would draw first when turned on, then the regional roads, then the regional highways, regional counties, county boundary, townships, and so on. If the aerials were moved elsewhere in the layer settings, and to do this I'm going to left click on the box next to the layer name and then drag and release to place in the new area. When the aerials turn on, they overwrite layers that are above them in the layer settings. To move them back, I simply left click on that box and drag them back up to the top of the layer settings list and release. The layer settings also allow me to change the overall look of a specific layer in the map. In this case, we'll look at the highways and interstates. In the map, currently they are orange and a bit thicker than normal lines. Clicking on the layer settings, on the highways layer, I click on the line column. Doing this opens up some new options on the right-hand side of my layer settings window. I can define the layer color, in this case a line width, or a line style. To change a color, I simply select the new color. Closing out of the layer settings, I will see it immediately reflected on the map. The line width may be changed by choosing from the list of line widths listed here, listed in pixel width or in actual real-world feet. Again, closing the layer settings displays the new line width. The line style may also be chosen from a list. Selecting a new style and closing, I may see if I'm zoomed out this far that the line style does not appear. But as I zoom in closer on the map, the line style becomes more apparent. To change those, I simply go back in, choosing the line style, and select the old values or change it back to any other colors or line styles or line widths that I prefer. Line colors may also be classified. In the case of the ESNs, if I just turn them on and look, my line color is solid color of red. Looking at them on the map, this does not provide much information for me visually. If instead I classify the line colors, in this case by a unique value, and I'll use the ESN number as ESN numbers are unique per boundary. It automatically assigns a color to each ESN number. Colors may be changed by clicking on a color value and selecting a new one from the list. Closing out of the layer settings, I will see that each boundary line now has a unique color per the number that's assigned to it. The labels of features on the map are controlled in the text column of the layer settings. Looking at the roads text, I can see that the text color is set to black, but it has a white shadow outline in it. The font used is Arial, and the label format is using the feature name to define what is displayed on the map. To change the text color, I simply click a new value. Fonts may be changed using the pull down. It can be set to be bold, italicized and underlined, shadowed or unshadowed, and the shadow color may be chosen from the pull down list. Draw Highway Shield requires specific layer formatting. Contact us at 888-225-5984 for more information on using the Draw Highway Shield option. The layer formatting we'll get to more in just a moment. But as you can see, setting these values then closing the layer settings will cause them to display on the map. In the case of something like a parcels layer, I can see that as I zoom in closer that the owner name and a parcel number are being used to display for each one. Going to the layer settings and then choosing the text column on the parcels, I can see that it's set to orange with an Arial font, bold, and a black shadow outline. The label format is showing me that the owner name and a parcel and split number with a decimal between them are being used to display on the map. To change those, I can delete out any portion I don't want displayed. As soon as I delete them and close out of the layer settings, it will display without those. To change it entirely, I go back into the label format and remove anything I do not want displayed on the map, then choose Add Field. From here I can select any field in the parcels layer. In this case, I may go down and choose that I want the full parcel number to display. This gives me the parcel number without any other information displayed on the map. Should I choose to add the owner name, again I'll choose Add Field, choose the owner name, and then come into the layer format, and if I like, I can put a space in between the two or a carriage return. This puts the owner name underneath the parcel number. The fill column is for boundaries, such as the parcels. Selecting it, I see I have the option of none, set in a color, or set in hatching. To set a single color, I simply click on the color field, then come down and select the color I wish to use. Once the color is selected, an opacity may also be set for that color. Pulling back, I can change the opacity of it to be able to see through to any features or aerial photography underneath the feature. Closing, I can see now that there's a fill on the parcels but the opacity has been set to a transparency where I can see aerial features underneath. The Draw Area border will remove any lines between the features. Obviously, in a case like this, that is not an ideal situation, so I want that border showing to be able to see where each parcel boundary runs. I can also classify colors. In this case, I'll come down to the Public Safety and choose the ESNs. Turning those on full and going out to the full map view, I can see the boundary for each ESN is displayed here. The ESNs are the emergency service boundaries for this county. While I can see the outlines, they are difficult to distinguish between. By coming in and clicking on the Fill column, I can again choose a color, but in this case I'm going to choose to classify the color. When I select Classify, I have an option of choosing unique values, a range of values, or matching the line color. In this case, the line color has already been classified by the unique value of the ESN number. Clicking Next, closing the layer settings, I can see that each boundary has a unique color based on the ESN number. Fill colors may also be represented in an on-screen legend. On the Fill column, if I click on the Show Legend on Screen, then close out of my layer settings, the legend will appear in the upper right-hand corner of my map. I may also choose hatching. Selecting a specific fill pattern will show that hatching within each boundary. In this case, where I have the line color classified, each one will display based on that line color. Symbols are meant to represent features on the map that are points. In this case, the addresses are set up with symbols that look like small houses. If I'd like to change those, I go into the layer settings and then select the addresses layer and click on the symbols column. I have options of browsing local libraries, browsing the web libraries, or browsing my local files. Browsing local libraries gives me an option for pulling from symbols from my Simple Symbols library or libraries specific to symbol types, such as electric features, operational features, fire hydrants, utilities, and other things. Selecting any of these and choosing Select will change my feature to that symbol. Zooming out, I can see that the symbol I have chosen will dynamically get larger as I zoom out and smaller as I zoom in. For features like fire hydrants, I may want to choose something specific for a symbol that demonstrates that not only are they fire hydrants, but perhaps I could even classify them based on the line size. In this case, the hydrants are represented currently by small blue boxes. In the layer settings, going to the fire hydrants layer and selecting the symbol column, I can go to browse my local libraries. Pulling it down, I see that I have a library for fire hydrants. I may select that and select the single hydrant type to represent all of the hydrants. However, I may also go in and classify using unique values and choosing the line size. Selecting Next, I now go in and configure each one. Using my local libraries and the fire hydrants library symbols, I can select a specific hydrant type for each line size. Once I am finished and close out of the layer settings, I can see that I have a different colored hydrant based on line size. This can help me quickly make assessments and choices when looking at the map without having to click on individual hydrants to find out what line sizes are. For features like schools, here I see I have a school represented with a small blue box, just as I had the hydrants before. Clicking on it, I see that it is a school. To change that to something that more represents a school, again, I will go into my layer settings, and on the schools layer, I'll choose the symbols column. However, this time I'm going to browse the web library. In here, I see that there are many categories containing different types of map symbols. The specific map symbols directory, once selected, shows me different structure types. Coming down to the S's, I see that there is one for schools. Selecting it and choosing Select will now make that the symbol for those features on the map. The colors of these symbols can be changed by using the fill and line colors as discussed before. Changing those will change the color on the map. When browsing local libraries, it's important to note that anything that it's looking for will be a bitmap, PNG, or JPEG type file. Selecting any of those will make that the new feature symbol on the map. A few points of note with the layer settings. Notice that when I try to click on the center lines right now, it will not give me information on the center line, but grabs the nearest geometry. The reason for that is in the layer settings, the Edit Selectability column has been unmarked on the roads layer. Marking that and going back into the map, I can now click on the center lines and get center line information. There is also the Auto Label column. In this column, I denote when labels turn on and off. Just like the auto discussed earlier, auto here means that they will turn on or off at a specific range, again measured north to south. On means that those labels will be on all the time. In the case of the center lines, the labels refer to the road names. The geocode column helps define which layers are used for lookups. In the case of addresses, the exclude layer from address lookups can be checked to make that layer not be used when doing lookups for addresses using the find address feature. This also works for interfaces such as a 911 interface for automatic location of callers. There is also the search suggestion formats. This is used to define what is looked up in the drop-downs when items are put into the search bar. When I type in an address, it gives me the house number, the street name, and the community. Any directionals will also show here. This is all defined within the search suggestion format setup. Intersections would be used for things like roads. In the case of the roads layer, this layer is being used for intersection lookups. Place names are for things like CAD interfaces. If your CAD needs to be able to look up a road, a highway, a landmark, or any business name, layers can be set up to be automatically used for those place name lookups. The ruler tool allows making measurements within ThinkGIS. Clicking on it and coming down into the map, my cursor changes from a pointer to a small hand. Left-clicking, then moving the mouse, I see that I get a measurement from one point to the next. Clicking again will make 2 points, and more, and so on. Once the measurement is complete, I can right-click, and then pan, move, zoom in, zoom out. The measurement will remain just like any highlight. It will show up in printouts as well. Once I am done with it, I can hit the clear key to get rid of it. If I need to make a measurement of physical geometry, such as this road from intersection to intersection, I click on the measure tool, and then in the map, I go to the first intersection. Once I'm over it, I get a small box at that intersection telling me that I am snapped to that intersection. Left-clicking, then moving the mouse to the next intersection, you'll notice that once I get another box at that next intersection, all points in between get filled in. Left-clicking, then right-clicking out of the tool, you'll see that I have the full measurement from intersection to intersection. The measurement again shows down here and will remain, even zooming out, panning, or anything else on the map. You will notice that as I am zoomed out, I also see that measurement in larger detail. This will show up better in a printout. Again, clearing will clear that measurement from my map. The Measure Area tool functions exactly like the Measure Distance tool. Under Tools, I select Measure Area, then come down into the map. To measure, I pick my first point, then left-click, and then continue left-clicking on any other points to be in the measurement. When I am complete, I right-click, and this places the full measurement out there. As it is measuring an area, it gives me the entire perimeter in square feet and in square miles if applicable, and the entire area in acres. To remove it from the map, I hit Clear at the top of my information window. ThinkGIS gives users the ability to do quick prints of current views or more advanced printing. To do this, click on the Print button. In the main print window, you have an option to go in and change printer setup and orientation. Select layouts from a list of existing layouts that you have created yourself or that we can create for you. Pick specific areas on the map or pick a specific feature on the map, and even add a title to that map. Clicking the View Edit Layout in the upper right-hand corner of the print window opens up a larger print view. Here, you may go in and add new things to the print layout, such as text values, legends, scales, north compass arrows, images, text boxes, text callouts, image callouts, feature callouts, freehand drawings, and then you may save layouts for later use. For more advanced printing techniques, we ask that you call us at 888-225-5984. To do a search for specific features within a specific area, I can go to Lookup and list features within an area. The first option is to draw a radius from a point. Clicking on it, I am first asked what layer I wish to search. In this case, I'm going to search for addresses. Once I've selected that, my cursor changes to a small finger point. I place it at the center of where I want my radius to start. Left-clicking, then pulling back the mouse, I pull back my radius. In the lower left-hand corner of the screen, it's telling me how many feet my radius is. Going out 1,000 feet and left-clicking, I now see how many addresses are within 1,000 feet of that point. I can take this list now and print it out to an Excel spreadsheet as done in the index. I can locate all of them on the map, or I can go through and locate individual features. Once all are located on the map, highlighting over the top of them will highlight them on the map as well. To search for features within a manually drawn boundary, I go to Lookup, List Features within an area, and draw a boundary. Clicking on it, I'm first asked which features I want to search for. In this case, I will look for addresses. Picking a starting point, then left-clicking, I move my mouse to the next point and left-click again. I continue this until I've encompassed the area I wish to search. Right-clicking, I get the results. Just like with the index, I can take these results and print them out to an Excel spreadsheet or text file, locate individual results, or locate all of them on the map. When all are located, highlighting over the top of them in the left-hand information window will highlight their location on the map as well. To search for features within an existing boundary, I go to Lookup, List Features within an area, and select a bounding feature. When selected, what looks like an index window will first pop up. Here, I go into the layer with the boundary I want to select and select the feature boundary. Saying OK, I am then asked which layer I want to search. In this case, I will choose addresses. Saying OK, it tells me all the addresses that are found within that specific boundary. As in the index, I can now print this out into a list in a text file or Excel spreadsheet. I can locate individual features, or I can locate all addresses on the map. Highlighting over the top in the left-hand information window will highlight their location on the map. To search for features within a specific distance of an existing feature, I go to Lookup, List Features within an area, and specify distance from a feature. Clicking on it, I'm first asked what I want to measure from. In this case, I'll choose a water body. Once selected, I say OK, and then it asks the distance I wish to measure out. The default is 200 feet. Then I select a layer to search. In this case, I will choose parcels. Saying OK, it queries all the parcels within 200 feet of that feature. The return list is displayed just as in the index. I can now print this list out to a text file or Excel spreadsheet. I can look for individual features on the map, or I can locate all of the features on the map. Highlighting over them in the left-hand side information window will also highlight their location on the map. The Show Bird's Eye view under View, Show Bird's Eye will place a full map in the lower right-hand corner of my screen. When zooming in on the main map, a white box will appear in the bird's eye map, indicating where I am in the overall location. The further in I zoom, the smaller that box will be. As I pan, the box will move with me. This is a helpful tool for keeping oriented if you're not used to the area or are new to the job. To turn it off, go under View and uncheck Show Bird's Eye. If there is a specific area on the map that I wish to keep in view but continue using the rest of my map, I can go under View and choose Open Side Map. It will ask me to change the name of the map, or I can leave it at the default. Saying OK, I am then given a side map that I can move to another monitor or to the corner of my screen. My main map will then be open for use for other purposes, all while keeping the side map in view. Side map controls contain a zoom in, zoom out, and pan, so that I can get the precise area in view that I wish to keep. When I am finished with the side map, I simply close out of it. Up to 18 side maps may be opened at any one time. With an enabled GPS interface, I know my location on the map. ThinkGIS also gives me tools to be able to mark that location on a layer specifically for my use. Under Tools, I can choose Mark Waypoint. This allows me to give the waypoint a specific name and then mark it on the map. Using my current GPS location, I simply say OK, and it places a point out on the map for that location. If I do not have a GPS setup enabled, I can still use the Mark Waypoint tool. Under Tools, I choose Mark Waypoint. Notice that the Use Current GPS location is no longer there. However, I am still allowed to free pick a point on the map. I simply say OK and left click wherever I wish to place a point. If I have coordinates, I am able to enter those as well, and that will place a point on the map for me. I can click on any of these points to get more information about them. Double-clicking will open a feature information window. Here, I may go in and edit. Changing that will change the name of the point on the map. To remove a point, I double-click and then go to the wrench tool on the feature information form. Here, I choose Delete this feature. I say yes, and it removes it from the map. This concludes your ThinkGIS Basic Training session. We would like to remind you that you can reach customer support by calling 888-225-5984 or email us at support@wthgis.com. WTH would like to thank you for joining us for this ThinkGIS Basic Training session. We hope that you found it useful and that you find ThinkGIS makes it easy for you to do your job better, faster, and smarter.